right moment to share the link on your social media, post it in the groups, and give a shout to your crafty friends because we are starting any moment now. Shout to your crafty friends because we are starting any moment now. Yes, Kai in the background, he's making funny noises. He's playing with Skadi now. Dog wrestling time. Hello, hello, everybody. We are very close to the start of Mixed Media Mondays live stream. And if you want this live stream to be more visible and popular, you can give it a thumb up. And you can share it on your social media, in your stories, on Instagram. You can share it on your wall on Facebook, any group that you are in, because this is where we get more visible. And today we are going to talk about mica powders and metallic flakes. So these are two art ingredients that are going to be super shiny. Oh my god. I have to make intervention here. They're playing so hard that they didn't even realize something is wrong. Thank you very much for all of that. So let's maybe talk for a moment and let people join. Hello to my virtual studio. I'll just put myself a little bit further away. We are getting very close to the end of the art ingredients part of the Mixed Media Mondays. Today I shared a reel, a short video on my Instagram and Facebook. I was showing the transformation of this very simple sample project. I just used mica powders only to create color effects on this, and I was showing my three favorite techniques with mica powders, so you can check it out. And don't forget to save it for later, because you can use it as a reference. Of course, I'm going to say a little bit about these techniques as well, so don't worry, you will see it in the live stream. But just in case, if you need a quick idea, quick solution for your project, and you want to use mica powders, this reel is very useful. Hello everybody, I can see people joining from all over. Hello Lorena, good to see you. Hello Stacy, Brenda, Eva, Linda, Nuno is here as well. So just great to see you here. I hope now the dogs got a little bit relaxed and they're not going to play so hard anymore. They just got the food, so they're full of energy. And we are finishing with the art ingredients, but worry not. We are going to move to art alchemy. We're going to move to the paints and waxes, and our Mixed Media Mondays will continue in the close future. So I'm not leaving you with without inspiration. This is just the closing of the chapter to open the next chapter as well. Jean is trying to adapt to the change. Yeah, the time change is always confusing. It's super, super dark now. We changed the time this weekend. Europe basically changed the time. Now it was hard for me to convert the times, knowing United States and Canada, they are not converting time until the next weekend. I wasn't sure about South America. So I always try to rely on YouTube showing you the right time of the live stream, because this is the safest, because you always see the timing in your own time zone. So this is the safest solution. So if you have any questions during the live stream, don't worry, don't be shy. I'm here to help and answer. We've got some of my very talented brand ambassadors here, like Nuneka is here in case if you need somebody to answer the question I don't see. But there are also my patrons here, and they know quite a lot on about my products as well, because they are my live classes regulars. So there will be surely many potential sources of ideas and sources of inspiration. This live stream is going to cover two quite popular products, so we will go through them together, starting with the metallic flakes, talking about them a little bit, and then moving to mica powders. Mica powders are probably the most versatile product ever when it comes to ways of using them. There are so many recipes you can create with them that it is pretty amazing what you can do. So I hope at least something is going to be new for you. But if you got some mica powders at home, you may be surprised how well they work with other products and what are the possible techniques you can include them in. So hello, I can see more people joining. This is great. Hello, Sue, and hello, Flo, and hello, Jean. Oh, Jean was here before. Eileen, hello. Good to see you guys. And again, if you can hit the like button and if you can spread the word and share it on your social media, that would help so much. So as I said, we're going to start with metallic flakes, and we've got them in many color variations, and there are some traditional colors such as silver, gold, but there are also colors which are mixtures of ready to apply combinations of colors. The ones which are mixed, they're called fine metallic flakes because the pieces of the flakes are smaller, so the effect is more I would say speckled, it's there are small patches of color, while the metallic flakes, the traditional colors, they are really large sometimes, so they can cover quite a lot with one piece of flake. So anything shiny, if you like stuff that is shiny, this is the right place, because both metallic flakes and mica powders, they are shiny and sparkly and beautiful. So, well, it's perfect for the holiday season coming as well, but I have to say, shiny stuff, I'm just looking at my shelf here, shiny stuff makes us excited all the year round, so this should not be just reserved for the winter or for the Christmas or any kind of like New Year celebrations. Metallic flakes and mica powders can be used all year round. So hello, I'm just going to flip the camera and check everything before we will officially start, because I can see people joining. And we will go to metallic flakes first. I'm going to catch some more of the colors. Lorena mentioned Barcelona set. Very beautiful. I just show you some examples. I think one of my favorite is Venice, I have to say, but I also love Paris. So, yes, Barcelona. And I will take the mica powder samples on the side for now. We will focus on the metallic flakes. And I think people are a little bit afraid when they look at them because they are so shiny. And they wonder, okay, but what do I do with the stuff like that? That is like so sparkly and so lightweight as well. So the key is they don't have to stay this way. This is the difference I was showing you between the traditional colors like gold, silver, copper, and the fine flakes. You can see these ones are much smaller, these ones are bigger. However, the application is exactly the same. They are nice when they are shiny, but it's good to know they look very nice when they are toned down as well. This is Paris, black, blue, and purple. Beautiful set as well. Barcelona is black, red, and gold. Absolutely beautiful. And we've got New York as well here. That is gold and blue with a little bit of black here and there. So let me show you first the idea, what is the way to apply them, and then we will go and I will show you what are the possible ways of using them. For example, on this frame, you can see the metallic flakes. They were used in the back, but they were treated on the top, and it's good to know what happens when you do such things. So what is needed for metallic flakes? Well, it's good to have a container to catch them. It's good to have something like a box or paper towel to protect your space because they go everywhere. And you need gilding glue, which is the medium. It's the glue that is dedicated to metallic flake. This is the one we have in our line with Prima Marketing. So this is the one that we picked as a dedicated product. It works with the flakes and with the sheets as well. But if you have any other brand of the metallic flake glue, this will be also good option. I don't recommend the glues that are gel mediums or traditional PVE glue or what else people use? Tacky glue, because we need this sweet spot between being dry and wet, and then we can apply our flakes, because it's really important. The glue will have its maximum tackiness. So let me show you something. Okay, it's not just the flat surfaces you can apply the metallic flake on. You can apply them on the textured elements. You can apply them on the surfaces that have already some textures done, and the metallic flakes will show the textures beautifully. But You can also apply them on rather wonky objects, things such as, this is an egg, but figurines, right? You can apply them on your leftover paper. You can apply them on the embellishments. Everything is going to work the same way. So here is the sample I made when I was making a short video. You can see after application, metallic flakes show all the details of the resin element. This was just a resin element painted with black gesso. So something similar to what I've got in here. You can see this is a rather old piece, but it has beautiful textures. So we will apply it on the top. Here we can see what happens if you apply it on the stenciled pattern, how it's going to cover. And there's one more thing I want to show you before we will start. You can apply them directly on the surface. So here I had a plank of wood, very old, and I wanted to create custom background for my collage. So I took metallic flakes and I applied them in the random spots of the wood to create like the metal paint that was peeling off effect. And you can see how nicely it added the textures and it catches the light. So it's basically sticking to anything. So the whole procedure is super simple. First of all, you need to apply the glue, then you apply the flakes, and then you brush the flakes off. This is super simple demo, but I will mention what is important, okay? So pay attention. Let's take this, and maybe something unusual. I've got half painted unicorn with the metallic flakes, so something that has strange shape. And first thing we need to do is to take a portion of the gilding glue. For example, you can use your palette, right? Let's put it on the side here. And then we need to paint that glue on the surface we would like to apply the flakes. So honestly, you can do it directly on the object even if there is no gesso. But if you are not sure you're doing that for the very first time, it's probably better to just put gesso just in case to make sure it is matte finish. But believe me, I tried that. This glue is super tacky and it will still stick to anything. Most of the unicorn is already gilded. It's already covered with flake, but unfortunately it didn't stay on, doesn't have anything on the mane or on the horn. So we are going to add something. As you can see, it kind of is super easy. You just paint it on the top. Then you leave it, okay? You repeat the same thing on the top of your embellishment. Just make sure you rub thin layer on the top of everything. You don't want the puddles of glue to be visible. Just take it everywhere with your brush. Make sense? How do we wash the gilding glue off the brush? The right answer is quickly. The best thing you can do is to take it to the sink and wash it with the hot water when the glue is still wet. Hot water and soap. The longer it stays on the brush and it dries, the harder it will be to take off. See how thin is the coat? If your glue is a little bit too thick, you can add a little bit of water to it as well. It's no harm. Just remember, it's very tacky. My hands are already sticky. Let's also put something here. Where's my glue? Right? So you can see, let's do maybe half of it. It doesn't have to be everything. We see the glue when it's wet because it is white. Right? So just to compare, one side is white, the other one, it's transparent. I'm not going to cover the whole thing so we can see the glue. On the original demo, I was using a black element here, so it was easy to say. And just for an example to show you, right? It's quite visible when it is wet. And the biggest mistake I've seen people do here is they put too much glue. They put a very thick coat thinking, oh, it's going to, you know, it's going to work better. The truth is, no, it's going to work worse because it's going to take longer to dry, or you will create lumps that are absolutely not necessary. Okay, so now I take my brush and I put it in the water quickly and I rinse it while the glue is still wet. And now we can dry our objects with the heat gun or hair dryer, or we can just wait until the gilding glue will turn tacky. It's already catching my fingers. So this is this moment when we need to remember, you know, it is important to wait until the glue will turn transparent, because this is the maximum tackiness moment. Okay, I made some space here. Great. Drying. So you can speed up the drying with the heat gun. This is not a problem. You can use the hair dryer, or you can leave it and wait. And also, what I know from experience, this glue will stay tacky for a very long time. So you don't have to rush. If you need to go somewhere and do something when you are waiting for the glue to dry, you can leave it. I left it for 1 hour and it was still tacky when I came back. So keep that in mind. It doesn't have to be, you know, instant drying. You can just plan it a little bit in advance. You got plenty of time when you are applying it. You can give it a break and then come back to it when you are ready. I have to wait and see what happens on the next day. Right? You can see the glue is turning transparent here. It's perfect example. So you can see this is ready for application. The same here. Look, on the black object, it's glossy, but you can barely see the glue because it is turning transparent. It means it is ready. Right? Then these guys, I think the unicorn is getting ready as well. So you can create a very interesting figurine for your studio. You can buy the cheapest looking one, even plastic, and then turn it into work of art. And this one as well, right? So you can see it doesn't take too long. Now, application of the metallic flakes. It doesn't really matter if you take the big ones or the fine ones. The story is the same. Prepare the space. So make sure you're going to have your space covered, because they like to go everywhere. All right. Oh, it's super tacky in here. All right. Let's start maybe with the flat objects, and let's decide what colors we're going to do. Let's put some colorful flakes on the colorful object, on the metallic objects, and the mix of silver and gold on the frame. So wish me luck. I try not to breathe, sneeze, or cough in that direction. Okay, so the key is you take these and you put them on the top of the glue, pulling them with your fingers, trying to spread them, because only the layer that is touching the glue is going to stick. So it's no point in putting tons of layers, because there will be a lot of broken leftovers. Instead, it's better to take the flakes and try to push them on the textures. And because the flakes are so thin, all the details will be beautifully visible. So I'm trying to reuse the flying flakes. I'm trying to push the flakes in the spaces. This one is already catching the next project, right? And sometimes if I can't push it enough, I can help with a bit of a brush. Hopefully not your best brush, okay? Take something that is not too precious. You can push it inside if there's a lot of texture. Make sense? And now you leave it for a moment to breathe and wait. Let's put something else on this one. This is red and black and gold. And you can see this one has a little bit different feeling to it because they are smaller particles. Right? So we're trying to do the same thing. Put it all over the element. Just to show you how it works. What colors do you want on the unicorn? It has a silver body. So what do we do for the mane? Maybe this. Hello, hello. We've got a set that is called Moscow. It is silver, purple, and blue. So maybe that will be good for the unicorn. Right? So the same story here. If we have a kind of unusual object, we need to work more carefully and try to rub the flakes. What is sometimes a good idea, you can have a box, and if you have leftovers, right, you can cut them into a box. And then when you make your application, sometimes you can pick up the last elements from the box as well. Let's catch some of the purple. So here it's a little bit more tricky because this is larger object. But anyway, we can try again, push some of the flakes. You can't see a thing and you're not telling me. See, I'm also using the brush to push it in there. And then when you have a box like that, you've got leftovers, you can use it to make some crazy backgrounds or special embellishments that you will use in the close future. So, for example, you can use these leftovers to go on the top of this, right? You have the whole surface, you can catch whatever is possible. Again, trying not to breathe. And then you create custom effects. Because you never know what will happen. Maybe this will be the most beautiful combination ever, or maybe not. Let's use more of the other flakes. Sometimes crazy objects like that may be super inspiring as well. And here I make a crazy background to show you how it's going to show the texture. It's a bit of everything, but in reality, more likely, I would take this box and I would use it to create a bit of the custom paper. These are leftover papers. Just scrapbooking paper that was covered with the gilding glue, and later it was covered with the leftover metallic flakes. So straight from your box, you can create very unusual elements you can use for making your projects, like cards, ATCs, for die cutting, for example. I was showing in my reel the effects like that, but this is exactly the starting point. And now, when everything is kind of sticking, right? When you have the paper, you can use it for the die cutting. Then is the time to take the brush and brush off the excess, right? So this is, again, the moment when you want to catch your metallic flakes. So you may do it over a box, and then you can use that to create special effects. So you take the brush and you start brushing off all the flakes that didn't stick. Does it make sense? Thank you so much for the donation. You are so kind. Oh, we got a little bit of the blue here, but hopefully this is just on the top, not too much. All right, so I take the brush and bit by bit, brushing off the excess. Yeah, it is so shiny. And look at the details once we brushed off the excess. This was the mold with the vintage clock face. You can see how beautifully the details are now visible. It's the combination of the thin coat of the glue and then good application of the metallic flake. Very, very simple, yet the tricky part is not to rush, right? And make sure that you wait for the glue to dry enough. Look at the skull of the, I think this is a ram, so the sheep's head, right? We do the same thing, brushing off the excess. And this is super shiny, as you can see, but kind of similar thing. All the textures, even the small textures, they're really visible. All right, next one is the unicorn. So the unicorn will finally get a bit of finishing touch. Poor thing. And you can see it got colorful mane. Of course, this is just a simple idea. And for the next demo, I can paint my unicorn black and start over. But you can see that there is such a big potential in using the metallic flakes. When you have a simple object, for example, you've got a simple cheap looking figurine, you can turn it beautifully metallic and with the vintage touches, because it's easy to apply the flake on the top. You don't really need to seal it because it's very hard to scratch it off. Look. See? As long as it is kind of sitting there, you would have to do something very like with my nail. See? I have to go very hard to scratch it, and this is the effect that may happen, but you can easily put a new coat of the glue in here and make a patch. If you put it on the gesso, it's kind of like sticking even better. Now you can see I'm scratching the gesso off almost. So it's hard to remove if it's well set. There are probably some special glues for, varnishes for metallic flakes, but in the projects that I have at home, I only leave them as they are. Sometimes I put transparent wax on the top of them. So just to show you the crazy background with the leftovers. Yeah, the clock is visible from the moon. Yes, I'm sure it is. So you can see even these guys here, they may be used for something else. So if you're not scratching with something sharp, it's not really possible to remove them just with the fingers. They are safe to touch. So what to do with these? to make them a little bit under control, okay? Because they are crazy shiny. And not every project will benefit from this look, right? You know the technology of application. Now I will clean up a little bit. And we can talk about how to make them more vintage or colored and a little bit less shiny, okay? I will just quickly put them here and wash my hand a bit so I'm not touching everything with the metallic flakes leftovers. And I will show you what kind of look I mean, because as they are beautiful, but sometimes you would like to get something a bit more like, you know, vintage gold or a little bit tarnished metal or a little bit of the dirty in some of the spots. So it's good to know how you can achieve this look. And again, it's very easy. It's just a matter of playing with the right materials. So give me a second. I will leave you with finished vintage frame. So you can get some inspiration. Right? So, how to tame your metallic flakes? You can see on the projects, well, hard to say because it's so shiny. I work with a bit of the vintage look on the top. Like here, it is a copper and golden frame, but then it has a little bit of the dirty finish, right? So this is combination or either waxes or liquid acrylic paints, which are transparent. And in this project, we have a bit of the tarnished look, and then I put some crackle in the corners, and then again, I added the paint. So how to achieve that? Let me show you. First of all, how to make your metallic flakes less shiny, because it is possible. The answer is use your clear gesso. This is going to make it more like tarnished metal. It's going to tame the shiny effect. So it's going to make it more friendly for some of the projects. And if you'd like to, you know, still have it like metallic, but not too much, this is your way. So let's put a little bit of the gesso on the selected part, so you will see the difference. Because matte finish is going to be very different to the shiny finish. Let's put on the wing of this butterfly as well. Right, so you will see half to half. So this is one of the easiest way to change the shiny effect without changing the color. Because clear gesso has mating agent inside. So let's dry it. You will see how this is going to work. So clear gesso. Let's dry it. You can see what happens. It's still metallic and vibrant, but it lost this crazy shine it has, right? So you can see this is so focus. Clear gesso, no clear gesso. Right? So this is one of the things you can do. The same here. Clear gesso and then no clear gesso. The colors are still vibrant, but the shine is almost gone. Right? So this is one of the things they may work as your advantage. Second, paints. Right? You may take vintage looking paints. For example, very popular burnt sienna liquid acrylic. Or you can take amber color. And because they are transparent, they are going to add vintage brown or black on the top, but they're not going to cover the original color because they are transparent paints. So you can put them on the top. We can do it on both sides of the butterfly here, so you will see the difference. I will take the plate and let's try different paints. So this is the technique I used on the frames I was showing you before. A little bit of the oh, come on, don't be like that. A little bit of the clear gesso, and then I was using a bit of the brown color. This is almost empty, so I will throw it away. But it's good to know. It's good to know that things like that work, and they work really well. Remember, metallic flakes, they are resisting products because they are so shiny. So don't be afraid. If your paints are transparent, you are not going to cover completely. So you take a brush. Right? Take a bit of water. Let's maybe so we can see I've got water here because it's water. Come on, spray. So it's not too thick. And now, using your colors, you can go on the top and create effects. We're going to go on both sides so you will see how does it work with gesso and without gesso. And then more. Sorry, just a small accident. Everybody's fine, I think. The best effect will be if we add a little bit of orange as well, so carmine. You can see the colors are changing, and you can get different results depending if you have your gesso on or without. This is very, very rewarding technique because you can get amazing color combinations. Look at that. We turned this moth into like magical dragonfly now. Just using the paints on the top. And as you can see, it's also permanent finish. So you can do whatever you want. So liquid acrylics, these were brown and a little bit of carmine, and this is on the clear gesso. And then you've got on the top of the flakes directly. They're going to resist, so it's going to be quite easy to be light-handed. So just to, keep in mind. Let's look directly on the vintage clock. Let's say we want to show some of the details. I use quite a lot of water, right? And I push this paint in there with this water to add antiquing effect. If you think like, oh, too much, you can spray the water on. Look at this. Right? Super easy. That is super easy to do. And then, of course, if you want some rusty, you can add a little bit of the rusty color. One of the easiest way to play with this. Look at this paint. I will just dry it for you so you will see the difference. Super easy. Liquid acrylics, which is transparent acrylic paints, and the metallic flakes on the top. On the top of the metallic flakes. There's no gesso here. It's just directly on the metallic flake. So there will be no tarnished finished. And this is something you can probably see as a part of the vintage project. While maybe when it was so shiny, it was scary. Now when you have the paint on the top, it is so much more possible to use. And you can put many layers of the paint, but just giving you the idea. And you can get really beautiful dried paint effects, and they look like rust, or they look like some old oil in the machinery. Does it make sense? Super easy. Water and liquid acrylic paints. This was combination of the carmine, which is rusty red, and burnt sienna, which is warm brown. Right? So much easier. But this is not all. You can also go and use the waxes. Right? I can see the question. Pytanie dla pani Basia. To był klej do płatków. U nas to się nazywa gilding glue. To był ten, który jest dedykowany do tego produktu i który zrobiłam w Primie. Gilding glue to jest klej do płatków i do folijek, ale jeżeli nie ma tego, to musi być inny klej do płatków metalicznych. Nie używamy żadnego kleju typu żel medium, czy taki glue, czy magik, tylko używamy takiego, bo ten pozostaje długo klejący. Proponuję potem obejrzeć jeszcze raz początek, wszystko będzie bardzo jasne. Sorry. So you can see how quickly we did the effect, changing the colorful things, right? I said the waxes, okay? So let's take the unicorn maybe. If you put wax, even in the similar color on the top of the flakes, you will see metallic wax is not as shiny as the flakes are. So you can tame the shiny effect just by adding a bit of the metallic wax, for example, or matte wax. But let's check metallic, okay? Let's say I would like to add a bit of the effect. And look, it's just taming the color. It's adding the texture. So now the unicorn is not going to be that over the top shiny. It's going to be more glamorous, right? Just look at that. It kind of is showing the color, but not too much. So it's also the way you can tame the metallic flakes a bit. But also, once we have this and we use the paints, don't stop yourself. Use the waxes on the top and show the highlights. Look at that. Makes a difference right away. It's not like one step. You can do so much with them. Very good recommendation as well is to use matte waxes. I'm just going to clean my finger. You can use matte wax to rub it into the textures, and this way you create vintage effect. Do I have anything else that is? Probably not. Like, come on, this is, oh wow, right? Okay, anyway, matte wax. Let's take some matte wax. Let's say stained wood. This is dark brown matte wax. Looks expensive. So this is the matte wax that is brown, and it's going to get a little bit darker after drying. So it looks like natural stain as well. So if you would like to combine it with your metallic flake, here it will be hard to see anything. Maybe let's do it on the here, so you can see a little bit different look. You take the brush, you take the baby wipe, and you can clean off the excess. Let's use it in the middle. I push it all the way in the textures. You can see it is giving like the tarnished look, but this is not everything. And then you pick the baby wipe and you clean off a bit of this, so it only stays in the bottom parts. And you get matte finish with a bit of the metallic peeking through. See? If you want the tarnished metal look, this is going to do great job. And of course, you can repeat that as many times as you wish. Remember to clean up the top a little bit so the depth is more visible. Make sense? Let me see if I can apply it on something directly. So matte waxes, they do very good job when it comes to taming the flakes. I'm just wondering what is going to happen here with all these colors. It's a crazy, crazy sample, right? So you put it on and then partly take it off. So kind of is probably too shallow to get really, really big drama. It works really well on the samples, but it adds a little bit of the tarnished look. Let me see if I have anything more with the metallic wax. I found the die cuts. So the paper that we can use, we can also die cut and create shapes. So I'm just adding a tiny bit of the matte wax on the top. So are there any questions for the metallic flakes and ideas how to use them? So you can see it is much more finished. Because you can see from ultra shiny and super crazy, you can go into very vintage looking easily. right? And as I said, the paper is a perfect technique to catch the leftovers, like we were catching them here. You can create crazy papers and later use them for special embellishments. So, to sum up, for application of the metallic flakes, I used the gilding glue, right? You can see that in the short video I shared on my Instagram and Facebook and in the beginning of that live stream. So applying the thin coat of the gilding glue, waiting until it is transparent, sticking the flakes, brushing off the excess. And then to tame the metallic flakes, you can use transparent acrylic paint, such as liquid acrylics. You can use metallic waxes. You can use matte waxes. And if there is need, you can also use clear gesso to just get matte finish without changing the color. Okay? So I'm going to change the setup. And I'm waiting for questions because now we are going to move to the mica powders. It's beautiful. It's just like magical. So you can see different results. I really think once you will discover how you can make them look vintage, metallic flakes may be your best friends. Because I think most people get discouraged because of the shiny effect that may feel it is too much. So it's good to know it's not hard to keep them under control. Very special unicorn, right? Let's put them on the side. And the metallic flakes. As a special feature, I want to show you something. This is metallic flake on the top of the stenciling. So in this project, first I applied the paste through the stencil. Then I dried it. Then I put the stencil back in the same position. And I added gilding glue using dabbing brush on the top of the paste. So at the same time, it is dimensional and it is metallic. So you can also play with these techniques. It's a little bit harder to do because you have to wait for the paste to dry. And then you have to make sure you're going to dab your glue very nicely through the stencil. You can use the sponge and then you have to clean the stencil as well. So keep that in mind. It is a technique when you really, really love the stencil pattern and you would like to combine it with the metallic flake. So it is also possible, but it requires a little bit more of the patience and a little bit more steps to do. So it's a little bit more advanced technique. And remember to clean your brushes after using the gilding glue for the metallic paint. Yeah, you can dab the glue through the stencil, yes. But for the best results, first apply the modeling paste or 3D gel to get dimension as well, because then it feels more puffy. So in fact, these are 2 layers. When I'm washing my hands and getting ready, I would love to know what is your favorite technique with the gilding glue and metallic flakes. You can leave me a comment, leave me a thumb up, and I'm back with mica powders. I use sticky reusable stencil with many of my projects. It has silk screen in the stencil. I wonder if I could use it with them. I wonder how this would work with the glue. You have to check how the glue would go through this kind of stencil and if there will be enough of the application. Because, you know, it's the matter of how to apply the glue in the right portion. Like, is this not too much and not, you know, not too little? Can the flakes go into 3D gel? Yes. However, they don't look that impressive as you think. Because they kind of get crumpled and they start to look like glitter. So they are not like impressive as they are when they are dry. They kind of, you know, get squished, and it doesn't really make such impression as it is when they are applied directly. Well, maybe it's time to use them again. Mica powders. I'm going to show you some of the examples. And I will find the container I prepared of the mica powders because I'm so good at losing them. I prepare them and then I put them in a very good spot. So here we are. Mica powders. After a short break, we are back with the second shiny ingredient that may be used in so many techniques. Mica powders, that is something that is ultra versatile, and all these projects, they are heavily based on the mica powders. So it is not just something that you can sprinkle. It's something you can apply in multiple ways. And my job today, I made a plan, is to show you recipes how you can use your metallic mica powders in the projects. This is the sample I made for the short video. So all of these colors here are mica powders only. So a lot of these are a combination of my favorite recipes, and I will show them to you, but also these projects, they show you other ways. And this is the online class I was teaching as a live class. Two of the projects here, they were done during the recorded live streams. It's available on my website, Finnabair Art Studio. You can still buy the class and watch it done step by step. Mica powders are used in different way to achieve slightly different look, but they are absolutely the same product. They were just applied in a little bit different way, in different combination, and they were also in different color variations, so more pastel or darker. So let's look at the recipes. Here's also the project I made quickly, mostly based on mica powders, of course. And I was thinking how to do it to make it easy for you. Here are the multiple colors of the mica powders, right? We've got so many from different sets. And it is something that you can buy in many color coordinating boxes. And I was thinking the easiest way is to show you what you can use to apply them, and then to show you the result, because there are so many techniques here. Is that a deal? Oh, you like the newest colors. Thank you so much. I'm trying to get better and better. I have my plate. We can use it as my palette. And going, bit by bit, probably the easiest way to apply the metallic products like that, the powders, would be sprinkling that on the top of something, okay? So to sprinkle them on the top, I've got this. But how to make them permanent on the top of the project? This is the technique I was showing in the classroom when we made the record class. And here on the textures, you can see the effect of this application. We did a lot of effects with water as well, so they were dripping, but they are basically staying in place. They are not coming off, they're not flaking off. So it's good to know how to do it. For example, we can use this black part of the project to apply some of the mica powders. Let's go with the colors that will be maybe vintage. So let's take some browns and some golds, right? And you can just go directly from the packaging, because as you can see, they have little shaker tops. So technique number 1, sprinkling. And of course, to make it more interesting, we will combine 2 colors. A bit of gold as well. We're trying not to sneeze at this time. They're not reacting with water like magicals do. They are simply mineral powders. So what they do is they behave like eyeshadows. They also will be trying to come off if you rub them with your finger. So the best way to keep them in place is to spray them with a kind of fixative. And this is my homemade fixative for this purpose. So I'm just spraying that on the top. And you can see I'm trying to make them as wet as possible. And at the same time, I'm trying to make them move a little bit. And this is how we can get lovely textures when we have some stenciling, right? So this is technique number 1, but they look very, very not impressive until you dry them. So in the meantime, when we are drying, I will tell you about the fixative. How to make the fixative? You need a bottle with water, and you need some fluid medium. This is base of the acrylic paint, acrylic binder. So the full water, like full container of water, you need maybe like a teaspoon of the fluid medium. You shake it, you mix it, and it turns into like milk white liquid. And this is going to turn into sticky spray that will keep all of your metallic flakes in place. Mica powders in place. Metallic flakes were before. You can see already how grungy and how fun this effect is. Okay? So this is technique number 1, sprinkling and spraying on the top. Slight variation of this technique is when you mix your mica powder inside of the bottle. So instead of sprinkling your gold on the top here, you open the bottle, right? And you prepare mixture that is already a combination of the fluid medium, water, and mica powder. And this way, the advantage is you have ready to go spray. So you can spray on your project. I will show you on the piece of paper, right? This is your golden spray. But it makes sense in the situations when you know you are going to use a lot of that. If you have generic color like gold, silver, or any other color you really love, it's worth making the spray like that because you will use that portion in your project. But if you use multiple multiple colors on the project, putting so many bottles in front of you and making so many different colors would be a problem because you need a lot of bottles, right? You need to have that done. So I think sprinkling and fixing on the top is a very good idea because it gives you more of the flexibility when changing the project. So just in case if you wonder how long you can keep spray like that going, this one is 2 years old. The only problematic part is from time to time it's good to clean your nozzle or rinse the sprayer with clean water because you know what happens. The mica powder and your fixative may finally build up in the sprayer and it may stop the sprayer from spraying. So look, I just rinsed it now, basically clean water now. So the whole system is clean and this way I can store it for a very long time. The ingredients used here are neutral. This is just shimmer coming from the mica powder. This is the fixative, so the fluid medium with water. And it's sitting there for a very long time and you can top up anytime you want. But let me show you one more trick, and this is technique number 3. You can add extra color into that as well and make it super special. For example, you can combine your gold with your another favorite color, for example, from acrylic paint. Right, so this is drying now, so we can ignore it for a second. Let's say, oh, I don't want the gold anymore. I would love to have rusty with gold, okay? We don't have the rusty mica powder. You would like to have something else. You can absolutely add a tiny portion of the liquid acrylic paints to the mix as well. What is even better, you don't need to add that much fixative because fixative is already here. So you can just mix water, paint and shimmering mica powder and it's going to work. So you can add color in here and the vibe is going to change. Przestań suszyć. See? Now we made rusty with gold. We've got paint of your choice. And now we have to spray it a little bit and look at that. We've got shimmer and we've got color in one. Make sense? So after drying you see more of the gold, but you also see the color here. So let's say if you want the butterfly to be a little bit more shimmery, you just created another version of the color, so you can add a little bit of extra touches. Make sense? So easy. So you can just make a mixture like this. This is your next recipe. Such a simple combination. As I said, this fluid is a base of this paint. They are the same kind of family. So if you make colorful mix, you don't even need to add the fluid medium because it's already here. It's going to stick. So let's dry it and see what it's going to do for us. I can see you are pretty excited about that effect. And this is just the beginning of mica powder story. Let me dry it because I want to show you next effect on the top. And in the meantime, we can spray a bit in here as well on the white sample, just to show you the results. A bit of water to make it flow. So you will also see the shimmer, because now it's more like paint, but you will see this paint has shimmer in it. Thank you so much for the donation. You are so generous. Thank you. Well, my job is to show you the opportunities. Look at this butterfly now. It's almost dry. So the shimmer is more visible when the project is dry. This is kind of natural. When the water is gone, you start to see the mica powder. So we had the combination with fluid medium and water. We had combination with the paint. How about now making some paint instead of the spray, okay? Something that is going to be more like metallic paint you would take straight from the pot. Because this is, of course, absolutely possible. This is drying in the meantime, so don't worry. I'm not putting my house on fire. I'm just going to put it a little bit on the side so it is drying. And we can focus on making another mix. Can you please stand for me? Thank you so much. It's going to faint, I guess. Thank you. So we have something like that. How about making some highlights? For the highlights, you can absolutely make a paint that is going to work with the brush, not just the sprayer. Bardzo dziękuję, Emilia, cieszę się, bo to jest naprawdę najlepsza farba na świecie. Okay, so we've got metallic paint, right? So the metallic paint has to have a base, and we can then apply it with the brush. So let's pick the color that will be good highlight here. We need something lighter, so maybe let's take more of the pearl color that will be visible. Let's put some pearl. This is pearl mica powder. And now we are going to turn it into paint. We can add a tiny bit of gold to make it a bit warmer, but not too much. Makes sense? Let's switch it off so you will see everything. And now you have two options. One option is you just put the fluid medium straight into that, and then you get perfect paint. You can apply easily with the brush. Right, I will just show you on the top of something that is darker, maybe, so you can see it. The more mica you have, the more covering the color is. Right? I added a tiny bit of gold here, so it is a little bit like warm pearl color, but it's still going to work really nicely. So you can paint your surfaces with that. Fluid medium. If you don't have fluid medium, but you're in desperate need, you can replace it with the soft gel. This is more sticky. It's not going to be as long going as the fluid medium, but will do the job for quick dry brushing and quick painting. Okay, so the soft gel in the glossy version is also possible to use because it kind of is almost neutral base. Remember, the stickiness is a little bit different story though, because this is much more sticky. Just to show you, it is also working. Soft gloss gel. Fluid medium is not coming in the search. Liquid color fluid medium. It should be. It may be out of stock at Prima now, but it's coming, so don't worry. So we have this. Let's maybe do what color we want with the orange. Let's make maybe some purple paint, because why not? Just to show you it is possible. Again, the more mica, the more saturated color is. See? So, what can we do? We can, for example, dry brush the paint to make the highlights. And for dry brushing, you just need a tiny bit on your brush. Remember, this paint is not going to work forever, so don't wait too long. Clean off the excess on the paper towel. And now you can do your highlights. Make sense? And this is next technique with the mica powders. You can create your own paint. And the paint is going to be permanent after drying. So if you don't have metallic paint, but you've got mica powders and you have something, you can put them in. So the fluid medium or kind of like soft gel, glossy version, that is kind of giving you a lot of options, because this is the product that is going to give you metallic paint effect if you want to. So it is so simple and easy to create small portion to finish your project. You know, you may have favorite colors of the metallic paints, but you don't always have all of them. So mica powders are a great backup. Another thing, of course, you can add color into this as well. So you can take your favorite paint. Let's say what is going to go nicely in here. Let's add a tiny bit of crimson. Right? And we can create another colorful version of the paint. I'm just making sure it is going to get activated. So mica powders and liquid acrylic paints, they love each other. See? It's not going to be super covering, but it's going to be just enough to get quite nice results on our project and create some color opportunities. And don't forget, water is your friend. You can dilute it and make it work. So in the need of smaller portions of the paint to create special work, to create effects, mica powders are super versatile. And they will have quite a lot of shimmer for you. Of course, everything has to dry to be permanent. So when you color, when you work with the color, don't forget to put some color and then dry. Because if it's wet, it's going to flow. So to make this pink color, I combined pearl mica powder and some crimson liquid acrylic. Just look how nicely it goes with the orange. Yeah, crimson is never a bad choice. And you can see just by mixing paints, mixing mica powders, fluid medium, or even soft gel, we created metallic glazes like that, metallic paints. But this is not everything. I told you that you can create transparent, well, metallic gesso. Sometimes you want to have metallic gesso. Not very often, but you can. And this is what we did in here. The blue color in the background, it's in fact metallic gesso. So if you want to start your project with, for example, metallic brown color, you can absolutely do it mixing mica powders and your clear gesso. Let me show you that. It's just drying in the meantime, so we're going to give it a moment to dry. Oh, look at this beautiful drip. So another combination. We are leaving the water now on the side. We are leaving the fluid medium. This project just happened in the meantime as a demo. I will show you now the metallic gesso. Okay? Metallic gesso is another fun variation you can use to create effects. And that is something that may be used for some projects. So if you would like to use metallic gesso, take a portion of your gesso. It has to be clear gesso, not white. Clear will be transparent to show the color of the mica powder. Right? And then, something to paint. We have a dragonfly. Let's say this is going to be our element. And we want to give it as a start some vintage colors. So maybe let's go into metallic brown with a bit of gold. Again, don't be shy. It has to be saturated. Yes, metallic gesso. So let's do golden brown like we did in the project with the butterfly. Clear gesso is the base. Now we go and add mica powders. And it's going to look whitish at the very beginning, so not the most beautiful. But after drying, the white ingredient is going to get transparent. I have way too much gesso. I made too much, as always. I need to paint something more. One. Maybe... I have one more. So clear gesso and mica powders. Right. We're using all the leftovers, so it's not a waste. The project I was showing you, I used the dark blue mica powder. And in fact, for gesso, it's if you plan layering and highlighting, it's better to have darker projects closer to the bottom and lighter colors on the top. So the brown makes sense for us. Let's put it on the side and dry it. So we've got clear gesso as a base, and then mica powders as our ingredients to go inside. It's not going to be as shiny as mica powder directly because there's a bit of mating agent, but it's going to be like vintage metallic look. So this is your next technique, how to make your metallic gesso. Let it dry for a moment. We will add some textures on the top and some fun. But this is not it. You can also make your own metallic paste. The paste you can apply through the stencil. So for example, you can use it to create beautiful textures in the backgrounds. To make paste, you need the base that is going to be dimensional, something that is going to be transparent. So 3D gloss gel is a perfect effect. Let's make some other color. What color? We had orange, purple. Maybe let's do something gold all the time. Maybe turquoise. We have a very nice turquoise color, right? So the paste, it has to go into transparent base to see the full color. Of course, you can mix different colors of the mica to create your own favorites. So for example, let's put turquoise together with a bit of blue. And it's going to get a little bit more bluish and darker, right? Then we need the base. So 3D gloss gel is great choice because this is going to give us transparent base that will get completely invisible after drying. It's going to just add the dimension and hold the mica in the right place. It is in a way similar idea to making glitter paste. So we mix the glitter and we create invisible texture with glitter in it. Now, instead of glitter, we put mica powders. And we've got paste that has beautiful creamy texture. It's super creamy. And it has rich color because the gel is not changing the color of the mica powder. Right? Well, yeah, running out of the mica, the 3D gel is scary. I totally agree. I would not handle that well. And now you can apply it through your stencil. And that goes with every delicate texture. So if you have a stencil that has a lot of details, it's also going to work well because this paste is very smooth. And when you have this paste, you can put it into a tight closed container, like into a jar, and you can keep it for later. As long as the gel is wet, the whole paste will be possible to use without any problem. Ta-da! And you can make any color combinations you like, including gradient, you know, going from darker to lighter if you create a lot of different shades of the paste. But this is just your metallic paste. And you can use it in many ways. And one of the ways is to, of course, use with the stencil. The second way is to create some textures. You can add some sand inside. You can add some beads inside to create more of the fun effects. But there's also one thing I want to show you, but I have to find that one thing that is very, very deeply hidden and explain another technique. So in the meantime, I would like to know if there are any questions so I can answer before we will go to the next idea. Embossing folders. Can you add the mica into the crackle paste? Yes, but I would suggest using that in the clear crackle and in small portions, not to break the delicate formula of the clear crackle, because it is going to change the cracking process a bit, and that may be a bit challenging sometimes for the crackle. So keep in mind, smaller portions are fine. Try to be delicate with the application. So some people, when they have leftovers of the paste, like metallic pastes, they like to create skins. And you can use embossing folders for that. And if you have leftovers like I do, you can load your embossing folder with the leftover of your metallic paste and let it dry naturally. And later on, you will be able to pick up this flexible little skin out of your embossing folder. So don't forget, this is possible to do with the gel medium, but gel medium is just transparent. But when you have your metallic pastes, or even if you have ready to go paste like icing paste, you can absolutely do the skins as well. I can't speed up the process, but after that, it's possible to peel it out and have this design visible. Just saying, another way to use your mica powders in combination with something. So we have the paste. And just for those of you who are wondering, what will happen if you put it into the white paste? It is going to work, but the color is going to be whiten. It's going to get pastel. So for example, if instead of the gel medium, you're going to use the paper paste, which is not a mistake, right? It's just, this is going to get completely different look. First of all, you're going to lose your metallic look of the mica powders because paper paste has matte finish. That's one of the things. Secondly, the color is going to stay exactly as it is now. So no matter what you do, your paper paste is going to stay white, and it's going to make your mica powders pale. And this is sometimes a needed effect. So, you know, don't feel like, oh no, well, that was a mistake. Sometimes you just want to have pastel paste, and this is also possible. Then you use the white product, modeling paste or the paper effect paste for your mix. And it's not going to, you know, break the balance or anything. So just to show you the example here. Let's take another tag. So just before we finish our metallic mica powders presentation, just to remind you that this is basically a neutral ingredient, and you can add it into almost anything. People add it into transparent resin, for example, and they create metallic resin effects. That's also possible to do. Right? We've got matte finish pastel paste, and it's of course going to stay like that after drying. So if it's a neutral ingredient, you can basically mix it with anything you want easily. So it does the best job inside of something transparent, because then you can see the whole process easily, but it is possible to add to something white. Thank you, Nunu, for all the help. You are the best. I'm showing the last idea that I've got in here, and I'm just waiting for the questions. Let me think. Did I use everything I had? Fluid, medium, soft gel, paste gel, and then clear gesso. Yeah, okay. So you can also add your mica powders to your wax. And it is also possible to do something fun with that. You may have your clear wax and add the mica powders inside, or you can add it to other colors of the wax as well. So for example, here's the clear wax, and it may be also furniture wax. And let's make a little bit of the highlighting paint for this effect. So let's make pearl wax maybe, okay? So now the only thing is we have to put this mica powder into the wax base. So we have to just go and make sure it is going to mix nicely. It's better to put too much than not enough, because if it's too transparent, the result is not going to be that great. Now, see, it's basically the wax you get from the tube. You've got your wax mixed with the mica powder, right? It's going to have permanent finish. So now you can add your highlights just same way as we are doing with the regular waxes from the tube. This is just in the clear version. But to show you this is possible to use it also with other ones, let me show you that. Let's just finish with this dragonfly. Yeah, pearl wax on the top of the metallic gesso. And then instead of clear wax, let's make a mix with, which color? Let's take something not too dark, so the effect will be visible. Oh, let's take white gold, right? And let's say we've got a portion of the white gold and we would like to add something different to it. Let's make it more gold. Yeah, we decided we would like to do something else, right? And then remember, every time when you do something like that, you need to have a clean brush because this one is not going to work anymore. So there will be a lot of cleaning for me. I'm just mixing these two waxes to create my custom color. The mica powder with the wax to create my custom color. It looks very much like aged brass now. Right, so we can add a coat of that on the top of something. I don't have skin left, to be honest. That's too similar here. Yeah. Just a second. Oh, yeah. Let's take something. Oh. And this is our custom version of the color on the top of the resin piece. Much easier to show, right? So I hope I got you entertained and you got some ideas what you can do with your mica powders and metallic flakes. If you have any questions, I'm waiting now. And of course, if you have any questions and you'd like to, and you're watching the replay, please ask in the comments. And don't forget, you can share this live stream with your crafty friends. And that means you can send them the link or you can post it on your social media. And this way you can help it to be more popular so people can learn about mica powders and metallic flakes. And you can give it a thumb up because I've got 53 people watching and only 50 thumbs up. So I think 2 people are not happy with or at least 3 people not happy with what they are seeing. And if you have any question and watching the replay, leave it in the comments so I can come back here and answer your questions. See? Mica powder in the wax. And it's now waxed. Of course, it needs a moment to set like any other wax, but you can totally alter the color of your wax by mixing in your mica powders. You have blown my mind. Thank you. My mind is going in a million miles an hour thinking of all the fun things to do with mica powders. You can do so much. This is exactly the product that kind of is super versatile. And you can create so many effects. If you are careful and you mix it with different bases, you can discover even more fun combinations. This is neutral ingredient. So this is something that you can safely use to create a lot of effects. Some people who play with kids, right, they use it to add color to the slime. They add it to the candles to create sparkly candles. And if you have good quality mica that is not like skin safe approved grade, you can use it to create your own cosmetics, such as soap. This mica powder has no approval for making cosmetics, of course. It has to be very clean and very, very well tested mica. But just to give you the ideas, what are the opportunities? The soaps should be done with something that has this certificate, but slime, absolutely. And you can mix it with any kind of acrylic products, waxed products. You can mix it with water. You can mix it with resin to create effect in your molds as well. So there's so many fun things you can do. Bardzo dziękuję dziewczynom z Polski za to, że byłyście i bardzo się cieszę, że się spodobało. Yes, and I can see a good comment here. I use it into transparent crackle paste. Exactly. In the crackle paste, if you put small portions, like not too much at one time, you can also create transparent crackles with the color, metallic color in it. It's just, don't put too much at once because it may not react well. Try to add bit by bit and see how it goes so you get the confidence. Thank you so much, guys. It was fun to make the demo for you. Yes, it's easy. I totally agree with Karen. It's easy to forget. Like we keep going to our favorite products, but in reality, there are so many things we can do with them. And we forget that they can do that. And we've got these guys sitting on the table and they are not really having the time, you know, the moment of fame when they really deserve it. Emilia, mam nadzieję, że też się zobaczymy niedługo. Będzie mi bardzo, bardzo miło. Yes, Martin. That was Martin. Thank you. So guys, I hope I got you entertained. Share the video with everybody. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for watching. If you like it, send it to your crafty friends so they can watch as well and they can learn, because mica powders are not expensive. You get them usually in quite big coordinating packages, so you've got a lot of colors to play with. And if you have some of the products I was showing, like I'm sure you have water and probably you have some gel medium, you can already start making your own special effects based on mica. And some of the combinations, they're not so obvious, like clear gesso with the mica powders. Like people do, oh, really? Metallic gesso? Why not? Metallic gesso. Why not making your own paste? Why not making your own paint? Why not changing the color of your wax, adding mica powder in it? It is all possible to do. So thank you very much. Do zobaczenia, mam nadzieję, w Warszawie, ale też zapraszam, odwiedzajcie mnie tutaj, będzie mi bardzo miło. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you to my patrons for the support and being here with me and supporting me every month and inspiring to make more beautiful projects for everybody. I hope that was fun and you are going to get this creative boost you need. And if you're watching like halfway, go back to the beginning and see how you can use metallic flakes and then learn the techniques for metallic flakes and the mica powders, because they are absolutely wonderful. And I hope these Mixed Media Mondays are going to give you creative confidence to play with these products a little bit more. Thank you so much. This was Finnabair with Prima Marketing in my studio. I wish you wonderful creative rest of the week. And we see each other with some of you this weekend in the UK because we've got the in-person classes together with Nuneka and Olga, who are here as well. Thank you and good night and beautiful rest of the day for the people from the other sides of the world, from I could see Canada, United States, South America, Peru, Puerto Rico, and I think we had somebody from Australia as well. So thank you so much. Bye. Bye, everybody. And Mexico. Yes, I've seen Mexico. Bye.